Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for qualifying your time to be here this morning and learn more about EXP. My name is Randy Dick, and I'm 30 years in the business as of this spring, just working through my 30th year. Absolutely love real estate. It's been so special to myself as well as to my family. And I really feel blessed that I found this great, what I would call a career and now a business some 30 years ago in 1992 when I started. I run a team of 8 agents, including myself, here in the Abbotsford area, which is just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I know we've got some people on from around North America, so this will be, a conversation about being an agent, whether you're here in Canada or in the United States or wherever you may be. EXP is a very interesting company, and we'll go through some of the details of it. But of course, when we think of brokerages, we think of like the biggies, the Remaxes, the Century 21s, the Coldwell Bankers, the Berkshire Hathaways, and all of those brokerages, run pretty much similar to one another, where they're owner occupied, or they're like a house, they're owner occupied, I guess I'm thinking of, but they're really ownered, they're owned by owners, and without the agent they wouldn't be around or they wouldn't succeed. And EXP is significantly different, where it is about the agent. It's agent centric, where agents are actually the owners or have participation in ownership, which is so significantly different than all the other brokerages around North America or in the world. So it's very different in that way. But we'll go through a number of things. And the three things that every brokerage should be offering their agents and that they do share is, coaching, mentorship, training, and then of course the tech tools that help you generate a lot of business. Those are basically the three things that I think most brokerages offer in different ways, different quality, different, class of how they do that. And then of course it all comes down to fees and how much they can offer you or do offer you. So we'll go through that, and then we'll talk about EXP, how it's so significantly different with, ownership, and of course revenue share, which is, if you're contributing to help build the company, you should be compensated for that as well. So we'll go through that as well, and we'll touch on those 5 things: mentorship, coaching, training, tech tools, and leadership tools, and then of course the ownership piece and the revenue share piece. So let's get going. And we're going to start out with sharing a little bit about Glenn Sanford, the founder of EXP. Glenn started his career actually in the tech world, and he became a bit of a tech genius and was one of the pioneers in developing online lead generation, not only for real estate, but for a lot of companies with ALL. And then he stumbled across a realtor that said, "Can you do that for me in real estate?" And of course, Glenn said, "Yes, I can do that," and developed an online lead gen, which is now really common in the real estate business. And so he did that, but then the agent convinced him to become a realtor at the same time, which would obviously help increase his financial income for what he was doing. So he became a realtor and started developing teams up and down the West Coast. So Glenn was a team lead at Keller Williams, and this started in the early 2000s when he was doing that. Glenn developed quite a business model, but then in 2008, when the credit crunch hit, he realized that his model that he was working in was not the best model, and there's many, many pain points in it for him. So he thought, why don't I create a company that is all about the agent and solve all the pain points that I am experiencing in a traditional brokerage, which was Keller Williams. And so that's what he did. In 2009, he started EXP Realty. And he thought, why don't I make it a tech company first? So let's build it around technology first, then wrap it with a brokerage, because traditional brokerages, which have been around for, in some cases, Coldwell Banker has been around almost 100 years. It's a traditional brokerage trying to find a way to put technology into it, and they do an okay job of it. But why don't we start with a tech company and then build a brokerage around it? And when you think of tech companies like Netflix, Uber, Airbnb, these are all companies that are technology driven, that are disrupting the marketplace. So wouldn't that make sense in the game of real estate? At least that's what Glenn thought back in 2009. And so that's when he started EXP with that concept in mind. Now, in 2013, another really important date, this is where he started giving agents actually stock options or stock in the company because we became publicly traded at that time, over the counter, OTC. And so that was when the ownership piece really took hold with EXP, where every agent became an owner through having stocks either gifted or they had the opportunity to buy stock at a discount. Let's fast forward to 2018, another very important date, which is when we were uplisted to the NASDAQ. Only 25 to 30 companies a year get uplisted. And in 2018 of April, we were uplisted to the NASDAQ. Huge, huge deal for us, because this is where, the companies that really are making a difference in the world of business start their publicly traded companies. And so that's where we started. And we've been there ever since. Of course, our stock has done phenomenal. We started at $3, $4 a share. We pushed all the way up into the 150, 160 range early this year. Then we had a stock split, and now we're trading somewhere around $52, $53 as of today, which is roughly $105, $110 in that range. So we slipped a little bit from our high, but still doing phenomenal. So that's a little bit of the timeline. Back in 2013, incidentally, we were about 300 agents. Then you can see in 2017, we reached 10,000 agents. And today we're over 60,000 agents around the world. And we're in many countries. We're having roughly 800 to 1,000 agents join us a week. Yes, you heard that correctly, a week. 1,000 agents approximately are joining EXP around the world, and we're opening up countries all over the world. We've just opened up a couple new countries again: Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, Brazil, Puerto Rico, and the list goes on and on. We're just about to open up the Philippines. We're in Hong Kong. China's coming as well. India, of course, Mexico. So many countries. We're growing at a phenomenal rate. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there's 6.5 million agents around the world that call themselves realtors. In North America, we're 1.5 million agents. So there's a large pool of agents to have join us at EXP. And when you see this model, you realize why people are flocking to EXP in numbers like 1,000 agents a week. Our core values are really important for us. And the belief of what we do and how we do it is so important. Every one of these core values speaks to me in a way that I've never experienced in my 30 years prior to EXP. I thought I was a collaborative agent. I was very open and sharing with agents within my RE/MAX organization, which I was there for 20 years. And I thought I was, until I moved to EXP. And then I saw how collaboration can change when you give ownership to each individual agent. Ownership changes everything. Ownership makes an agent want to help the agent beside them, wants to protect the company, wants to help the company. And ownership just changes everything. It's really no different than when you're driving down a street that is tenanted, from start to finish with all tenants in homes. And of course, that street looks like a tenant occupied home versus to an owner occupied home, where it has such a different feel, vibe, and experience as you move through that neighborhood. So I love our core values. I can't share with you how much they are and how strong they are in our company. Agile, innovative, integrity. And I love the transparency piece too. There's no agent that gets a special ride, a special deal at EXP. We all pay the same fee structure, which I find is not really the case in most brokerages. Anyways, I love our core values. We're always innovating, of course. Innovation is always happening, and we are an innovative company that is looking at the way we do business so significantly different. I think of the disruptors that are in the marketplace, like Netflix, Amazon, Airbnb, Uber. These are all disruptors that have taken traditional business models and turned them upside down and use technology to take them to a different level. And while I'm on this topic of disruptors, I think of Uber when it came to Canada or to Vancouver, and how the traditional taxi business was fighting it so hard. So when you hear negativity talk about EXP, remember that EXP is a disruptor, and it is, really going to change the landscape for the traditional brokerage. And they see it coming, and they're fighting it. They're putting out negative, word. They're talking it down. They're saying it's not, a brokerage that you should go to. But remember this: when Uber came to Vancouver, the taxi industry was lobbying hard and heavy and putting out a lot of negative publicity about Uber, but the consumer wanted Uber, and Uber's here now, and it's fantastic. So innovation is always happening. We work out of a cloud-based environment, which is a really cool campus environment where we eliminate a lot of the things that a traditional brokerage would have. So basically work from anywhere. We cut a lot of overhead costs, which allows us to actually give back to the agent, give back to you, the realtor, in ways that you would not receive in the traditional brokerage. And so some of that giving back is through technology. Some of it is through the equity in the company that is gifted to you. Some of it is in the training that you get that you couldn't get anywhere else. So just a really great environment to work in. Our training is now up to 80 hours of live training a week. And this is done through various different platforms. One is our EXP World, which I'll show you a picture of that. This is our cloud-based campus, where it's three-dimensional. We have avatars, and it's live interactive training. And what I love about our training is that it's taught and trained by top agents from around the world. Think about having the top producer in every city teaching pro tips, best practices on a daily basis. And that is what happens at EXP. It's not the managing broker that hasn't sold a house in 10, 15, 30 years. This is real people, real agents in the trenches selling hundreds of homes a year, giving their best tips, their best practices to allow you to become that best. I've had years where my team sold 400 homes. How did I do that? Well, a lot of that was hard work, but I also learned from some of the best in the industry. And I call that R&D. I R&D'd a lot of agents to find out how I was going to be successful like them in production. And really that's rip off and duplicate. I was looking at how they were doing business, or they were sharing how they were doing business, and then I was implementing it in my own business. And this is what you get with a lot of our live training. It's top agents from around the world. This is a bit of a picture of what our three-dimensional world looks like. You can see that we are avatars. We're sitting in auditoriums. We have conferences. We have training in the world. We just held our EXP shareholders conference back in June in the world, and we had 17,000. Yes, that's correct. 17,000 agents in a conference environment, and it was amazing how that rolled and went, and just the learning that happened at that. So we love our EXP world. I don't spend personally a lot of time in there, but when I do, I really do get a lot out of it. We have a healthcare plan, which is exceptional, and depending on which side of the border you're on, of course, in the U.S., we're saving agents in a lot of cases $16,000 to $25,000 a year on their healthcare program. Amazing company that works with us called Clearwater, and it's an amazing program. Healthcare is really important, and I'm going to say this again: we are agent-centric. We're about helping our agents be the best that they can be and offer them the best opportunities, whether it be healthcare, technology, your freedom number, your freedom date, whatever it is. It's about the agent at EXP. Our back end is super powerful. We call it the EXP Enterprise, which has all of the technology wrapped up in the back end of it. We can see all of our commission caps, reviewing our EXP awards, real-time performance. It actually even tracks your performance month to month, year to year. So it's just really robust, super intuitive and easy to use. And it's got a lot of back-end services to it. SkySlope is what we use for our paperless transaction. I'm sure a lot of you people are using that already, but a great platform to use for paperless transactions. And another piece of our technology is Workplace by Facebook, which is an amazing program. It's kind of like 4 or 5 programs wrapped up into one, and we commissioned Facebook to build this for us. Facebook says we are one of the most productive users of this platform. And so it's a combination of Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, telephone, email, directory, kind of all wrapped up into one. And I call it my EXP Google. I just go to the search bar and I type in what I'm looking for. If it's an agent in a certain city, if it's something about the stock awards, if it's something about listing presentations, whatever I'm looking for, I go here, type it in, and I see it come up with all the information I need. So an amazing program that we use called Workplace by Facebook. By the way, we're going to talk about a lot of technology today, and that is all included. There's no extra charges for any of our technology. And depending on if you're in the US, that's only $85 a month for everything. In Canada, it's $139 a month. So great stuff. One of another piece of technology that we use, which is phenomenal, is KV Core. Now, this is a great tool, a great platform for any agent, new to an experienced agent like myself. It is a website, so it could be your personal website. Don't go out and spend a bunch of dough on a personal website, because this white labeled website is freaking amazing. So this is your personal website. This is your lead gen website, which is amazing in itself. And then on top of that, it's got a CRM in the background that is spectacular for doing squeeze pages, text messages, email campaigns. It'll even notify you when you've got clients looking online, and it will either send you a text message, an email, or it'll direct link you to your telephone, and you can take the call from your client that is now playing in the sandbox, so to speak. And so just a phenomenal tool. This would be, depending where you're at, $500 to $800 a month to have. And with EXP, it is included in your $139. Prior to coming to EXP, and I've been here just a little over 2.5 years, I was using another tool like this called Commission Sync or Sync, and I was spending north of $4,000 a month to run that for my team. I now run a team program through KV Core, and that is costing me under $400 a month versus $4,000 a month. So just great technology that we use. Another lead gen tool that we have is Making It Rain. So if you want to do zero work and you just want leads to land in your inbox, we've got a program called Making It Rain. We've got iBuyer program that we call Express Offers as well, which is another piece that we do where we've connected and collaborated with large institutions that do fix and flips. And so we can actually send them fix and flips from anywhere in North America. They will look at it, review it. Within 2 days, they will make a decision on buying that property. If they do, you're the buyer's agent, of course. When they do the fix and flip and they turn it around to put it back in the market, you're the agent that gets to list that property. So we're building all these affiliations with all these companies that will really change the way you do business. One other thing I'll say while we're here is that we've got a great marketing center as well in Enterprise, where you can just drop in the MLS listing, and it now builds flyers, postcards, presentations. There's so much in the back end. And I just want to make sure that I'm being protective of your time. And so we won't go into all those things. Now, these are things that, of course, all companies talk about, whether it's Remax, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, you name it. They talk about, mentorship, coaching, training, and then, of course, lead gen tools and technology. And I'm going to say this before we go into what really separates EXP from the rest. All of these things you have to ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well is the company that you're at doing that? How well are they coaching and mentoring? And I'll say this about EXP, because we all become owners, the mentorship and the collaboration between agents is over the top. I've never experienced that before. So I'm going to say EXP is what I would say close to 10 on that. The training, the 80 hours of training, and it's not training to keep you out of real estate jail, like so much training is these days, but it's training on how to be more productive. And then our technology tools are second to none because we're a technology company first, and companies are fighting their way to get us to be their partner in technology. So that's enough said for that. But this is where EXP gets really interesting. And this was mind-blowing to me when I saw the model. And this is something that I'm always thinking about, is building generational wealth. And maybe generational wealth is too big of a word, but just creating wealth beyond just chasing another deal. You know, so many of us real estate agents, we're just hunting to put food on the table. We never have enough food that we can actually relax. So we're always hunting for the next deal. What would it be like if you could actually, hunt at the pace that you want, or do the business at the pace that you want, where you're actually building something so much greater in the back end or behind you, or being able to build a pension of some sort, that you're not, always chasing that next deal, that next deal, that next deal. And this is what got me so excited about EXP 2.5 years ago. My big why was, how do I earn enough deals or make enough commissions to actually build that in the background? And then EXP changed my thinking on that. And it was more about, how can I help other agents see what I'm seeing at EXP? So we talked a little bit about ownership already, but this is how we get ownership at EXP. EXP gives us equity opportunities, and there's 5 different ways that we are gifted or earn equity in the company. Number 1, and each one of us gets these opportunities, brand new agent to a 30-year veteran like myself. The first deal of every year that you are at EXP says, well done, Mr. and Mrs. Agent. We're going to give you stock in the company for doing your first deal. So you get $200 US of stock for your first transaction of every year that you're with EXP. Number 2 is when you fully cap, or you pay into EXP all the fees that EXP is expecting from you, you get $400 US of stock. And by the way, the stock is traded on the NASDAQ. And so you get $400 of stock when you cap out at EXP each and every year. When you sponsor an agent, so because we're agent owned, why wouldn't agents want to sponsor other agents to our company? So when you sponsor an agent, you're gifted $400 of stock when that agent does their first deal. And then I absolutely love this award called the Icon Agent Award. And I've received so many awards in my 30 years career, but this is my all-time favorite award. And I mean that in the most pronounced and biggest way. This is my favorite award. It's called the Icon Agent Award. And depending on the marketplace that you're in, it's either $500,000 of commissions earned, so gross commissions earned in the year, or depending on the marketplace and the commissions that you earn on an average per deal, it could be between 25 and 35 to 40 deals. So if you're in that range, you would receive this Icon Agent Award, which is $16,000 in company stock. And I've been here 2.5 years. I've received 3 of these awards already. It's by far the best award ever. And then the 5th way, by the way, number 1 through 4, this is gifted to you. The company gives this to you. And these stocks are vested for 3 years in the market. So they sit in the marketplace on the NASDAQ, growing and earning and doing whatever they do for 3 years before you can cash out on them. And then the last, which is optional, but I'd highly encourage everybody to do this, which is called the Agent Equity Program. And this is where you put 5% of your commission. So it comes right off your commission check. You're in a $10,000 commission. $500 gets taken off and gets bought into stock. You get a 10% discount on the stock. So I'd highly recommend that. And this has just been life-changing to me. This is what I call the pension plan, or the 401k plan. This is amazing, and it's growing in the background. And I love this because we as real estate agents do not have a pension plan, but this is like a pension plan growing in the background. So absolutely love, love, love this. So this is how we gain ownership at EXP. So that's the ownership piece. So international collaboration, which means basically we're collaborating with agents all over the world. And so wherever EXP is, Glenn Sanford, the founder, said, why wouldn't the hardest working individuals in the business, the agent, doing deals with other agents, say, hey, I love my company. Why don't you come and join me at my company? So we can collaborate with agents anywhere in the world, of course, share our best pro tips, our best practices, but at the same time, we can also invite them and attract them to EXP. And when I was at Remax, I attracted north of 75 agents to the company, and I loved Remax. It was fantastic in the time. But here's the reality of it: I got nothing for attracting those agents to EXP, other than a cup of coffee once in a while from a managing broker, which I love the guy, but that was it. But at EXP, Glenn said, why don't we really honor the agent that's attracting other agents and actually give them revenue share, or help them to want to do this and give them income for contributing to help build the company. It makes so much sense. So this is how our EXP revenue share works when we're helping build the company. And so I'm going to be the fellow in orange, and I'm going to attract an agent either in my town or another city, or even across the country or another country in the world. And if that agent is earning $80,000 of commission or more, EXP is going to pay me what's called revenue share from the fees that that agent is paying into the company to me through revenue share. So that could be up to $2,800. So an agent earns $80,000 of commission from the fees that he or she is paying into EXP. EXP is going to say to Randy, hey, well done, Randy. Thanks for bringing us, the agent from wherever it is. We're going to pay you revenue share. And it's really 3.5% of the commission. So if that agent earns a $10,000 commission, the following month, I would receive $350 out of the fees that that agent is paying into EXP. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And why wouldn't we be supporting one another in the company? Because we're all owners in the company. And then, of course, the cascading revenue share grows. So I'm the agent in orange. I attract an agent in my city, and that agent is my tier one. But that agent now attracts somebody from another part of the country or another city or another country. And again, I, Randy, would be receiving revenue share from the fees that that agent pays into EXP of up to $3,200. It actually grows. So again, I'm receiving $2,800 and then $3,200 from that other agent. And the tier one agent is now receiving $2,800 because that agent's his tier one as well. So just a phenomenal way for us to, I guess, compensate and collaborate with one another to help us build our great company. And there's nothing like, ownership changes everything. And this is how it's changing everything. And we actually go into 7 different tiers where it's unlocked. And the key to that is, if you see personal qualified agent count, we as an agent, a sponsoring agent, I would need to have at least 5 agents for me to now receive revenue share or income from tier 2. If I was, attracting north of 20 agents, then I would actually get compensation from all the way through tier 1 to tier 5. And for me to get compensation in tier 7, I'd have to have 40 plus agents that I've personally sponsored. An agent that attracts 5 agents, and those 5 agents attract 10 agents, it's north of $40,000 potentially a year. And that happens every year. So every year that I'm with EXP, I'm receiving revenue share if I've been sponsoring agents. And to this date, I've sponsored north of 40 agents, and my revenue share has grown to a considerable number per month. It's just a phenomenal way for me to have another income stream. So, when I was at Remax, I had one income stream. That was commission sales. How many homes can I sell? How many commissions can I earn? That was my income. Today at EXP, I have 3 income streams. Every agent at EXP receives 3 income streams. One is commission sales, 2 would be the equity piece, and number 3 would be the revenue share piece. And so it's interesting. My revenue share and my equity is now greater than my commission sales, believe it or not. And so that is really, and I'm saying that as my net number because, as you know, commission sales takes a lot of expenses to make those sales. So really loving what's happening for me at EXP and for other agents. And by the way, what was so exciting about this for me was that where I was previously, if I didn't make it home that night, so if I was still at Remax, for instance, and I didn't make it home, I got hit by a bus, what would happen with my family's income? Well, the deals that I had in the hopper with that former brokerage would get paid out. I'm sure they would send beautiful flowers to my wife and family. However, that's where the income would end. Today, because I'm at EXP, currently, my wife would receive, of course, the deals that get paid out through EXP, would probably receive the nice flowers as well. But I have about $1.3 million, you heard me correctly, $1.3 million in equity with this company in under 3 years because of the equity program that I shared with you. And from the revenue share piece, my monthly checks are now in the $45,000 to $50,000 range by this program. So both of those are willable to my family. So today, the equity piece would be hers, and the revenue share would continue to pay out to my estate, my family, which is just phenomenal. So today, I do have a true business. Previously, to that, where I was at my previous brokerage, I only had a career. Once I stopped working or I couldn't work anymore, my income would go from whatever it was to zero. But today, if I stopped working or I could not work because of health reasons or I didn't make it home, that income would continue to grow and actually get paid out to my estate. So just an amazing plan. So I do now actually have a business where before I just had a career. So we'll carry on here and we'll talk a little bit about the fee structure. So here's the fee structure for the United States. It's $149 to get started. And after that, it's $85 a month for the brokerage fee. $25 a broker review fee is on each and every deal, and a $40 risk management to a maximum of $500. Now, we are agent centric. We're about the agent. How do we protect our agents in times where there's a difficult deal or a deal goes the wrong way? Well, the $40 risk management fee gives an additional $4 million of E&O insurance for that agent. Pretty phenomenal. Really, really cool stuff. And then if we go to the Canadian side, it's $199 to get started and $139 a month, $25 broker review fee, and $17 risk management for the $4 million. So that's the monthly fee. It's $85 in the US, it's $139 in Canada for all the technology. And I only touched on a bit of the technology and the tools that we have. Got so much, whether it's a do not call list, telelisting, just so much technology there. If we go to the other side of the page, we work on an 80-20 commission split. Now you may be working at a company that has a desk fee or a monthly fee. We work on an 80-20 commission split to a maximum cap of $16,000. So your first $80,000, of course, as I was saying before, would be the amount of money that you'd have to earn before you're earning 100% of your commission. So $16,000 cap is paid to EXP, then you earn 100% of your commission. And at that point, and only at that point, does a transaction fee kick in of $285 a month in Canada, and in the States, it's $250 a month. Here's the beautiful thing though. We talked about that Icon Agent Award. Once you cap out, and then you do 20 more deals, which is the $285 or the $5,700 or the $5,000 in the United States, you get your full $16,000 in that Icon Agent Award. So you're actually getting your full $16,000 cap if you become an Icon agent. And with our training, I'm sure we can get most agents to being an Icon agent. So that's the fee structure at EXP. And then I'm going to finish off with this quote, and then we'll open up the lines here for some questions. And this is Jeff Bezos talking about Amazon Prime when he built Amazon Prime, which, Jeff is the richest man in the world. And he said, I want to make Amazon Prime so it'll be financially irresponsible for consumers not to use Amazon Prime. Well, when I saw this business model, and by the way, I've owned a brokerage before as well, so I know the back end of owning a brokerage really well. But when I saw this, I thought to myself, I would be financially irresponsible to not be at EXP. And so within 40 minutes of understanding this presentation, I made a move to become an EXP agent back in the fall of 2018. And it's been the best business decision I have ever made. I've never seen a greater ROI on anything. And I own development property. I own apartment buildings. I own many, many different types of property. And I've never had an ROI like EXP. So with that, I'm going to open up the chat. Is there anybody that would like to ask me a question or share anything about EXP?
Arpan. I think Arpan had a great question.
Yeah.
Yes, Arpan.
So, yeah, Randy, I just wanted to ask you, how does the agent equity program work? I mean, let's say if the shares are there, I mean, is it a DRIP? Is it a dividend reinvestment plan? How does it exactly work? Because I cannot put my head straight. I mean, how the dividends paid out? Are they reinvested in the company? So if you just want to let me know.
Excellent. So let's just imagine that you're at EXP. Your first transaction of every year, you're going to receive $200 US stock. It's just gifted to you. And then it vests for 3 years. So if you're with a company for 3 years, then you can, whatever that value of that stock is at that point, you can then take it out of the stock market as cash, or you can leave it there, whatever you choose to do. So anytime that you receive any stock award from the company that is gifted to you, it is vested for 3 years in the stock market. Interesting enough, our stock has moved up quite a bit in the last 2 weeks because we just had our quarterly review, our financial quarterly review, and we did $1 billion in gross business in Q2. Phenomenal stuff. And in fact, our company is doing so well, we paid out a 4-cent dividend. So every share that one owns, as of August 31st, you would receive a 4-cent dividend, which is very unusual for a brand new company. We've only been on the stock market, on the NASDAQ, since 2018. And usually dividends are left for companies that are, companies been around for 50 years or 30 years where their trajectory of growth has, flattened out and they've plateaued. So now to attract investors, they give out dividends. Well, here we are, a company that's new and having exceptional growth, and we're paying out dividends. So we really have some amazing things happening in the financial part of our company.
Right. Thank you. And the agent revenue share, you mentioned, let's say if the agent has earned $10,000, $350 will be paid out to the other agent. So would that $350 would be from person A's commission, or would that be from EXP's side?
No, all the revenue share, the revenue share is always paid out of the fees that the agent pays to the company. So right. On a $10,000 check, it's your first deal that's closing at EXP, Arpan. You're going to retain $8,000 of that, and $2,000 of that's going to go to EXP till you pay $16,000 into EXP. Yep. Yeah, now, out of that $2,000, that's where the revenue share is being paid out of.
Got it. So let's say if agent A recommended me and I'm the agent B, so I'm not paying those $350. EXP is paying $350 to the agent A.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the really great thing about EXP, again, it's agent centric, it's agent owned. And so EXP pays out 50% of all the revenue coming into EXP. So revenue from the commission split, revenue coming from services that are being provided by other companies that we get a piece of. So some of our affiliates. So every dollar that's coming into EXP mandate is to share 50% of that with the agents because it's agent owned. Think about that. Think about where you're at today. If you went to your broker owner today and said, listen, I love my company here, wherever it is, Coldwell Bank or Century 21, Sutton, whatever it is, but you said to the owner, by the way, when are you going to start paying out 50% of all the revenue to us agents? That owner would just go, well, I'm sorry, but this is my business, which is rightfully true. He could not pay out 50% because his model doesn't allow for it. But Glenn Sanford built this model where 50% of all the revenue coming into EXP is shared with the agent. The second question I would ask that managing broker, wherever you're at, or the owner, is, okay, so if I help contribute to building the company, will you pay me 3.5% of the commissions that agent's earning that I bring? Again, the answer would be no. And at this point, he's probably getting pretty irritated at you and wanting to send you to the neighboring competitor. So, this is an amazing company built for the agent, about the agent. And Glenn just nailed it back in 2009.
You also mentioned about the CRM and the lead generation. So is it kind of a pond? Is it kind of a pool where we can go and dig deeper into the leads, and how are the leads generated? My whole question is that.
Great question. So any lead gen website or any lead gen tool, of course, you have to put some energy into it. So that's, of course, having contacts in the system. So what we've been doing is putting a lot of our contacts into the KV Core from my top producer. I've been top producer client for 30 years, but I've been putting them into my KV Core site, which now does messaging, squeeze pages, campaigns through text, email to them, and I can also have the AI component reminding me when they're looking. So it's about filling up, the back end or the CRM of this great tool called KV Core. You can do that through just adding them, or you can do that by doing campaigns, so paid campaigns, ad campaigns. That's another way to fill your hopper of potential clients. And so for even a few $100s or $200 a month, I know a lot of agents that are adding between 75 and 100 potential buyers and sellers to their campaigns.
I want to hit up on a couple of those points you made. First of all, by the way, everybody, my name is Neb. I'm a fairly new agent. I've been in it for about a year. And I was lucky enough to start with EXP after I did some research. And I can't even explain how glad I am. But anyways, when I first started out, one of the biggest things was the lead gen component Arpan was talking about, and the KV Core system that they were talking about. And it is insane. Technologically speaking, it's not just that you get leads coming into that system. That's not even half the power of it. It's that it's AI does everything for you. So it talks to them, it texts and emails with them, it runs its campaign on the back end. And then, this is true story, I get a text going, okay, that sounds great. Maybe we should go take a look at it then. And I was like, oh my God, this is a lead. So I quickly go into the KV Core and see everything that's happened. And that lead just shoots out. And so what happens is you load your contacts or you get some gen, but you can also sign up to these programs like Randy had mentioned, the Make It Rain program with KV Core, where a number I heard, and this may not be accurate, this is way better probably now, but when I first started out, Make It Rain program, I think they were charging roughly around $300 a month or something like that, but it averaged out an extra deal every 3 months. So if you're getting a $10,000 deal every 3 months, that is stupid, ridiculous, and you're doing nothing much from setting it up. So that blew my mind. That's number one. The other thing that Randy kind of hits up on is and you mentioned it, which is the equity program, the stock program. I love the fact that this is my company, right? One of my best friends, I wanted to go with him at Keller Williams Elite. Love that company. It's a great company, but I don't own that company. Like I just, although I like the company's attitude, it's not mine. Whereas here, every time EXP grows, I get genuinely excited, right? Because I know that it's money in my pocket. And to give you an example, when I first came on, the stock was at $4.25 before stock split, $4.25. It's at $55 today, only 1 year later. And I was so upset that I couldn't get a deal done soon enough at the time when I was first joined. I just went on NASDAQ, started buying shares. Like I knew this company was going to grow, right? And then I did my first deal, and it's exciting. And EXP just gave me money, just gave me, oh, here's $250 in stocks. And that's been growing over a year, right? And so what I've done is, on top of every deal that you do, you have an option where you say every commission, I want 5% of it to purchase stock. So I don't even think about it. They give you that 5% of your commission that you buy stock with at a 10% discount. So you get discounted shares. It is ridiculous to me. I feel like I'm joining literally either with Amazon or WestJet or whatever at the ground level, and this is just shooting off. So the idea that I can earn and be part of a company and love helping people out in that respect is great. And finally, the third piece that I'm going to hit on, and I'm going to shut up so that people can ask questions, is that Randy touches on it and he gets emotional on this. And it's something we should all get emotional on. And it's that as realtors, we die, we're done, period. That's it. Whereas with EXP, because the model is so helpful and it's so agent centric, I'm not very salesy. Like I'm not into trying to go out and convince people to do something, but it excites me to help my friends join something that's better for them. Right. So by seeing them join something that's better for them, I help them get into a better position and be part of the same wealth growth that I'm experiencing. But at the same time, I share in their success by earning money with them, not from their pocket, never from their pocket. The company gives it to me. And that is a forever. So you get to help your friends and you get to benefit forever, even after you die. Right there, I was done. So enough said. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. One question I wanted to ask, because I've just entered into the second year of the business. I may have a lot of questions because it's a cloud-based company. So let's say if I have to interact with the managing broker, or if I have any questions,
great question.
How does that part come up?
Yeah, great question. I always compare to what I had, and I had something really special. I really loved where I was at, but how I'm served today by my, and I'm going to say managing brokers, because my previous office, which was a great office, there was about 125 agents there, had one managing broker, and then there's a fellow that would step in and help if it got really busy. But I basically had one person to go to. Today, and with our technology, I can tie in 3-4 managing brokers that I've all gotten to know that can help me with my tricky deals. So I use it as a bit of a contest. I'll put my tricky deal and I'll put it into my phone, which that workplace work chat that we talked about, and I can tie in 2, 3, 4 managing brokers to my tricky deal. I can attach my deal to it. And it's almost like a contest. Who is going to answer me the quickest? And so now I'm getting 2, 3 opinions on how to handle my tricky deal. So I feel like I'm served way better. Sometimes I'll say that I think I'm being served too well, because they often make some of my deals more difficult than I'd like them to be, but they're just protecting me. They're protecting me.
Okay, so is it on the cloud-based program only, or would I have like direct numbers, direct access to their
Oh.
numbers. So
So right now, how do you contact your managing broker?
by giving them a call.
Phone, text, email, right?
Yep.
Well, I can phone, I can text, I can email, I can work chat them. So I can do that through call. I can send them a chat. I can go into our EXP world as well and go into their virtual office. So I'm an avatar now, they're an avatar. We can talk that way as well. I actually have more options today. And so this is one of the things that you'll hear from our competitors. They want to really, well, fear, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They continue to put that out there. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt about EXP because they're frightened of what we're doing, and they'll sometimes talk negatively about our cloud-based world. Well, to me, our cloud-based world is actually just an extension of what I had before. I'm actually have more options today than what I had at my previous brokerage. So when you're hearing negativity about something, you have to ask yourself, well, if I'm in a Ford dealership and they're talking negatively about Teslas, should I take their opinion seriously? No.
I
Right?
think I can relate to that because I have a Tesla and I'm a huge fan of Tesla. So okay.
Right. Right. So if you want to learn about a Tesla, don't go to a Ford dealership. If you want to learn about EXP, don't ask your traditional broker, owner, manager about EXP because they're not going to give you anything but negativity. So I hope that helps with you.
Of course. So I'm assuming all of the documents and everything, they're like scanned and uploaded on the cloud-based program, and there's no
Slope.
paperwork
Arpan,
involved.
Arpan, I'll show you all that. I'll show you
Okay.
all that tomorrow. How easy it is.
Okay. Right. Go ahead.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Mark has a question that how does it work in a partnership or a team? Let's say if there has to be a team, would that? So let's say if Mark and I, we both are a team.
Great question.
And we both stand at the same structure. Definitely, Mark would love to have me as an added value. I would love to have him as an added value towards the team, but we are working parallelly. So how would that work? Yeah.
Great question. So that was one of Glenn's pain points when he was at Keller Williams. He said most brokerages aren't set up for teams very well. So he made sure that EXP was built around teams. And even brokerages, we have brokerages from 2 to 1,000 agents joining us right now because of this model is so powerful for them. But as regarding teams, if you're a team of 2 to 9 agents, you work on a half cap. So instead of your cap being $16,000, the team lead is on a $16,000 cap, and every other agent on the team can be at an $8,000 cap. So a big savings to the team. Team structure is really well organized. And if you're 10 or more agents, you can go to a quarter cap. So instead of 16,000, it can be a $4,000 cap. But you know what I'll do? I will make sure that you get all of this. I've got this in a detailed form that will show you all the fee structures for teams as well. And we'll make sure that we get that out to you. But I'll say this about team. When I was at RE/MAX, I struggled in building my team to a larger number because the fee structure just was not beneficial. EXP is so organized and so well structured for teams that I am excited about building my team to larger numbers because of the structure. Awesome. Hey, well, top of the hour. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We do this every Thursday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you'd like to join us again, please do. If you'd like to invite somebody, please do. Whoever's invited you today, make sure that you let them know that you've watched this, and they'll reach out to you. That is who would be benefiting from the sponsorship program because they've invited you. I'm just a spokesperson for EXP in this case on their behalf, but love to do this every week and join us again. I'm just going to check our chat to make sure. I've got a thank you from Debbie. You're welcome, Debbie, and have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Thank you so much.